when I wasn't in there, and I came
Mm.
back home and like the fucking stick was in the middle of the floor, and I'm like, hey, who was in my room? Like nobody had been in my room. It was fucking wild.
This is a good story. And we are live.
Mm-hmm. Hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back for the second edition of Beer,
Oh,
Boots, and Boogeymen.
hey,
Hey,
hello,
hey, Damien. Welcome to the show.
hello everyone, hello everyone. Hey, thank you,
Hello.
thank you.
So we thought, last episode was such a hit. We'd do this again. We are talking strange lights and encounters tonight. And we have got a lot of listener stories to get through tonight. We've got, I think, Damien, Gil, and Joey have a personal story or
Yep.
two of strange lights. I am really excited to get into this, you guys.
I'm super stoked for this week. This is obviously
Yeah, we got a
um,
couple, I think
my
so.
favorite topic.
This is your
Mm-hmm.
favorite topic?
Right.
Easily. But we do have to pass it around, though, I think, first in order to start the new tradition. What is everybody drinking?
Oh, go for it.
Go, Gil.
I've got
You already
an
got yours up.
inevitable reckoning with a werewolf on the front of it because, yes.
You get the coolest beers
Hell
wherever
yeah.
it is that you are. All right, I'm rocking another Squatch Fest one. It's Squatch Pirate. It's pretty good.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Joey, what you got
I
in that
got lucky
mason
this
jar?
time, and I found what Chris.
I think we have a bit of a delay somewhere.
Yeah.
All good, though.
Yeah.
We'll power through it.
Hello.
Well, yeah, I'll go first, I guess. I have a nice Woodford Reserve right here. Nice little whiskey in here that I'm sipping on. I also have some tequila and some strawberry lemonade with Coke to mix with it. So a good mix of different styles of liquor for my first episode on this show.
Very, very spooky mix.
Yeah, we do.
Damien.
I don't think we.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we need Damien. Damien, my man.
Everybody hear me? Can ever? Can
Mm-hmm.
everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm delayed as shit. All right, cool.
You
Well,
are.
I actually got lucky this time, and I found what Kristen had last time, and I got Bat Squatch, and it's actually not that bad. So, props to you guys for turning me on to that.
Hell yeah.
Yay.
Oh,
No
yeah.
more sacrifices
Yeah.
for you this time around. All
The
right.
Nope,
amount of
not-
shit talk
not this
Damien
time,
has
not
been
this
giving
time.
me for my beer recommendations. Y'all don't even know what's been going on in the chat. That was
Oh,
episode 1 was almost the last episode. Him and I almost threw down. It got crazy.
we did. It was a battle of the gifts.
Well,
So,
oh.
and
Uh,
I do want to say something real quick. We have been promoting this episode with Inner Scare, and unfortunately he wasn't able to make it on due to some very personal reasons. But hopefully he'll be back come episode 3.
episode
So to
3.
join
Yeah.
us for episode 2
Yeah.
is the Black Cat Report host, Mr. Joey. Joey, welcome.
Thank you guys. Glad to be here. Thank you all. Thank you. I really appreciate the applause. It's okay. You don't have to. It's good. Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm here.
Glad to
Thank you,
have you,
guys.
Joey. Glad to have you, bud.
Yeah. But
Awesome.
Hey, real quick, we got to say howdy to our chats. I'm getting loaded up here, so let me shout out a brief hello. We got Dwayne, Air Force One, Gregory Fedora is here. I think he's got a story for us later. I'm not sure. Melissa Hager, Amy Boo. Thank you so much for jumping on, and Heidi. Good to see you, girl. All right, next.
yes, gonna have to give a shout out to, I believe it's pronounced Stars. Big shout out to you. I'm glad you were able to make it live this time. Also, risk it for the biscuit. We'll always risk it for the biscuit. And
Mhm.
I do want to point out here too that risk it for the biscuit gave Damien a shout out for the Freddy shirt.
Hmm.
Hey, somebody noticed. None of you guys noticed.
I'm so
We
sorry.
we were all too strucken by it to acknowledge it. Just like something of that kind of
Look,
beauty walks into the room. It's like you
I'm
can't
wearing a
say
Boogeyman on my shirt, and nobody noticed.
it.
Missed opportunity there.
Good deal.
Oh,
Good choice. Good
It was.
choice.
Well, I think we so we wanted to start a new segment, which we realized was a necessity after the first episode. So for folks that we dropped the ball on and weren't able to cover their submissions, or folks whose submissions came in a little bit late, we wanted to start a segment for them on a preceding episode. And I think Kristen has them printed off and ready to go.
Yeah. Well, we've got just one story from last time. As a reminder to folks in the chat, we talked about haunted workplaces last time, but the story actually falls right in line with our topic tonight. And it's very, very brief. And then I think we have a couple of videos from last time. We told Mr. Dwayne we would show those and tell that story. So here is a story from Chris from the Wall of Unusual podcast. He says, so this story takes place at an old lawyer office I used to clean. Anytime we would go into this place, it would always feel off. My dad said someone pushed him, and when he looked to see who it was, no one was there. Once we finished cleaning and we closed all of the lights and left only to see all of the lights turned back on. My dad went back in to see if anyone was there, and he could find no one. So he shut off the lights and left as quickly as he could. Thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate the story submission. Yeah, I would be a little unnerved if I've heard stories like that too before, where people leave their place of work, they shut off all the lights in the building, get out to their car, turn around, and like lights in the office are on. Like, whoo,
right,
whoo. Yeah, that would unnerve me a bit.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't- There's no one working late there, I guess. Somebody's working late.
I mean, it's a lawyer office, so I don't.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't work.
No, not at all.
Right.
But yeah. So that is the story. That is the Beyond the Deadline segment. So we'll be doing this moving forward. If we fail to read your stories or play your voice messages, they will get on the show. But to finish up this segment, I do believe, Gil, you've got a couple of videos loaded up for us. So these were sent to us. Actually, Dwayne was in the chat last time. And he's told me a little bit about this situation he had in his place. Just some odd things that were happening because of a haunted object. I will just say that, due to a haunted object that he suspects is the cause of it. So he said he was kind enough to send us a couple of videos, evidence captures of this activity. And go ahead and load it up, Gil.
Yeah, give me just a moment here. It's going to be in the wide view, so just prepare yourself for that.
All good.
Wide angle.
Yes.
Here we go.
Right.
No, nope. Fuck no. This is bull. This is bullshit, man. Nope. Bull fuck.
These are the most honest responses I think I've ever
I gotta
seen
say, his
in a
reaction
video.
is classic.
Like,
Yeah.
Right.
that is 100% me. If like anything
It is
happens,
pretty
like
classic.
I've had a long-standing policy of like, if I hear some crazy shit happening at any corners of my house while I'm home alone, I don't move. I don't do shit. No. I've worked enough my life. I am not gonna work for something to kill me. Like, you can come to me. Okay, I'm gonna chill in my living room, all right, with my cats, all right. But like that's yeah, I think I've said the exact same thing a few times where I'm just like, nope.
Yep.
That was fantastic though.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's just no other way to react. Well, yeah. So thank you guys so much for submitting those. Sorry we couldn't get to it last time,
Thank you all.
but glad to get you on this time. So with that, let's get into some stories. The topic of the night: strange lights and encounters. And I'm so sad because I don't have any stories like this, but I know you all do. So I'm very excited to hear them. Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna nominate Joey.
Yeah,
I think we should let Joey go first.
I guess I'll go first on this one.
Yeah.
Well, this story also includes Gil, so this is I'll be referencing Gil. I mean, we do hang out quite a bit, so he's usually part of the references for it. But on one non too cloudy day, I guess, on New Year's Eve and going into or going out of 2020, I think it was, right, Gil? If I have my
22.
time period
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Going in.
Yeah, going in. We're just sitting on the porch, our friend's porch, with 3 or 4 other people, I think, and it's kind of Gil's smoking, as he normally does, chain smoking as the usual. And he's the one standing, kind of looking the direction nobody else is looking. Everyone's kind of looking into each other, kind of talking, and Gil's just kind of staring out into the streets, above the streets, and this really bright red light, kind of, I guess, would say circular, just like appears in the sky. And Gil just looks at us and is like, come here, come look at this, come look at this. So we all get up. We walk up,
My exact
walk where
words
he
were,
is.
"What the fuck is that?"
What the fuck is that? Is exactly what he said to us. And so we get up and like just all stare at the light. Like we're all just looking at this light. There's, I think, 6 of us there looking at this light.
Yeah.
And it's getting obscured every once in a while by clouds, because it's that far up there. So it's just like going by. It doesn't look like, obviously, doesn't look like swamp gas, doesn't look like an airplane. It looks like a big red light in the sky. So we're just looking at it, and staring at it for a good 3 minutes. And some of the people there were photographers, videographers, just looking up at it. And no one decides to go, you know what? I should take out my phone and video this or take a photo of this. Everybody's just looking up at the sky, dumbstruck. And then it just disappears randomly. We're like, okay. And we keep staring. And then it just reappears again, maybe like 30 seconds later. So we're still looking at it. And then about, I'd say like 3 or 4 minutes after that, it just disappears and is gone for good. And no idea what it was. But Gil did do some research into this, didn't you, Gil?
That's top secret for the moment, but it will be
we
getting
can't talk
revealed
about
by
it?
the end
Okay.
of this year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I will add just on that, one of our friends in that friend group, recently deployed to the Middle East. They're in the Air Force. They were there. They had only been back for 2 weeks. That was part of why we were all hanging out together. And we had time because we were staring at it so long. We were like, do you know what that is? Like, you operate advanced top secret levels of drones and things that can do this. And his response was literally, I have no clue what the hell that is. Then it went
I'm
out.
pretty sure he said, that ain't no drone, as he looked up at it.
That ain't no drone. Because he totally sounds like that.
Yes.
But,
to cover his identity.
But yeah, so y'all went to go sit back down. And I think the best part of the capstones on all this is that this conversation started when Phenomenon had just came out, the documentary, right? Very famous documentary now, excellent UFO documentary. One of the people in the group was explaining it to another person in the group about, we just saw this documentary and it was fantastic. It was about UFOs and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm down off the deck. And then literally a UFO appears in the sky. And then everybody knows how 2020 went after that. But yeah, that was a fun situation. And I have since then, because this was before we even started Black Cat Report, I've since then hunted down 30, 40 incidences from that exact spot in Asheville of the exact same light appearing in the western sky, like going back to like the 50s and 60s, of groups of people like pulling
Yep.
off into parking lots, all staring at it. So like this is a long-standing phenomenon that takes place that we all saw there. Sorry to jack the
Whoa.
story, Joey. You know I've been obsessed with it for years now. It's been
You
4
have
years I've been obsessed with this.
I know, and you're still researching, and I love it. I did have one more quick story that I told everybody except for Gil while we were sitting
Ooh,
before the chat, and
I'm a little,
so
I'm a little offended.
oh well, you'll get to hear it now, right? Right, bud? But I think I've told you this before, Gil.
This is a
But
sorrow
anyways,
drink.
I was driving down the road down in Asheville where we live, somewhere close to that, and driving down the road at night, and just out of the sky appears this big burning metal. It looked like almost rebar from a skyscraper falling from the sky. No joke. Happened, just fell straight from the sky. And so, the person I was with looked over and was like, "We should probably go get prepared for an alien invasion. This is this is happening." It's like all those movies you see every time you see something fall from the sky and then only like 5 people see it and they're like, "Let's go. Let's get out of here." That happened and I heard nothing about it, and I looked it up on the news, looked it up. No one else saw it. No one posted anywhere about it. It was the weirdest thing. And I guess we haven't had an alien invasion yet that we know of. So I'm like serious too about that. It's like, I don't know. I have no
That
idea
we
what happened
know
with it.
of.
That we know of.
Oh, wow. So wait, by rebar, do you mean just like as small as that is, like just a sliver of a just on fire falling down, or it was in that shape?
It was in that shape. So it was probably, I would say maybe like, how would I describe it? Probably a little bigger than the length of like a guitar, because that's the thing I'm looking at right now. So that's how I could give you the length. So a little bigger than the length of a guitar, just on fire, metal, falls down from the sky.
All right.
And
Well,
that's it. That's literally what happened. And wish I knew more about what happened after that, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of these experiences, they
Yeah, it's
just
wild.
remain a mystery to a lot of people. It's got to
Mhm.
be frustrating. Damien, you wanna hit us up with something? What you got, bud?
I can try. I think I've got some lagging on my end, so we'll see how good it sounds.
Y-
Yep.
Damien, do you want to try to back out and come back in maybe?
Yeah, I can
Just
try
old
that.
classic,
Yeah.
turn it
While
off and
you're
turn it back
doing,
on, but
We'll just
not quite fully turning it off and turning it back on.
Mm-hmm.
and while he's doing that,
yeah, I'll reboot.
okay. All right. See you in a sec,
All
bud.
right. All right.
And
We'll
we
see you
can
in a bit.
read a new listener submission. We've got a couple here on my
Yes.
side.
Mm-hmm.
I believe is this the individual from New Hampshire?
That is one of them. Yeah. Do you want me to start with that one?
Okay. Yeah, if you could. I also I wanted to show this to them. Just right here. Just to let you know, I have my Saint Art Bell paranormal, or the patron saint of the paranormal shirt on. I don't know if they caught this too. But in my post in the Art Bell subreddit, even though it had a clear disclaimer on it, in my opinion, I did. And even though I'm in the top 2% of Art Bell listeners worldwide, according to Spotify, I was catching shit. Thank you for your submission. That's all I'm trying to say. And if you want to back me up on the Reddit, I wouldn't be mad. Yeah. Anyways, but thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your submission. Well, Damien's back. Should I go with the story first?
Yeah.
All right. All right. We're going to do a quick listener story here, Damien. All right. So, yes, as he mentioned, this is the individual from New Hampshire, specifically Mike from New Hampshire. And I have not read through this yet, so bear with me. This took place during Labor Day weekend, 1982. I was 14 and staying with a friend who was 15, enjoying the last weekend before school started. We were fishing for horned pout, a type of catfish best caught at night. Since it wasn't legal for us to fish where we were being very careful with our flashlight, only using it under cover to bait our hooks, unhook fish, and untangle lines. Other than that, we sat in the dark fishing while sitting on a big rock. After a couple of hours or so, maybe 200 yards away, we noticed a dim yellowish light appear in a field across the narrow lake. Shortly after the first light, 3 more appear, and they form a trapezoidal shape, each light bobbing and weaving slightly, but maintaining an overall roughly trapezoid pattern. After we watched the lights for a while, the trapezoid shape started expanding and contracting. At some points, the uppermost lights had to be 10 feet or more above the ground. All this time, there was absolutely no sound. Ooh. Sound carries well across the water, and the night air was dead still, so we would have heard anything, even as quiet as normal conversation, at that distance. After observing the lights for probably 20 minutes, my friend says he's going to shine our flashlight at the lights to see what was over there. I told him not to, as they were too far away for our little light to show anything, but he turned on the light. At that moment, the trapezoid shaped pattern of lights converged into one light, and a dazzling white beam as bright as one of those spotlights that you can see shining into the sky from miles away comes on and starts swinging along the lake toward where we were fishing, all the time filling the air with a low buzzing sound. We left our poles and the rest of our fishing kit behind, only taking the flashlight as we ran through the dark woods about 3/4 of a mile back to my friend's place, then sat in the dark on the screened-in porch, catching our breath and making sure nothing followed us back. The next day, we walked over to the field where we saw the lights. We hiked all over that field, and it was covered in knee-high grass. We saw a couple of small game trails, but not a tire track or footprints other than our own from that day. Wow.
Mm.
Dang.
Wow.
What do you think of that? Oh my gosh. That's like an intense experience. Like, if you think about it, if you imagine as you're going through the story, that's intense to see something like
Yeah.
that. Like, I've heard like well-known, like experiences like that, um, where they like converge and that they are working with each other. And like this is definitely like in my mind a UAP sighting,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the what gets me too is, they said I believe it was they said the trapezoidal shape.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of times with things like, say, like the phenomenon around spook lights, or the lights that appear in Southwest in the desert, or the Brown Mountain lights like here in Asheville, or at least, in Western North Carolina, they're not like sightings are not referred to in such a way as, like, a geometric pattern. They're always referred to in terms of like they're swirling or they're orbs. There's an organic flow to them. They just look like orbs just kind of moving around, but to have such a distinct, you know uh, intentional kind of formation, like a
Mm-hmm.
geometric formation, which is, it does exist in nature, but like you just kind of don't. I don't associate it with orbs, or like orb
Mm.
sightings or light sightings or things like that. It's always kind of, like round or circle, or they're all just kind of running around doing their own thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
this immediately throws and like maybe I'm just going too far into like Jacques Villée thinking at the moment. But this immediately throws my mind back to the trickster phenomenon, and like, so things like fairies, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, like
Mm.
fairies being seen around like lakes and ponds, and the small lights that are around them, and like going with them. And Jacques Villée has if you read oh my god, I'm gonna forget the name. Passport to Magnolia, Magonia. I think that's what it is. Um, but the book that he has that starts with the word passport, if you read that, um, he gets into things like, like goblins and fairies and old hags, and just like all of
Mm-hmm.
these old types of like tales, and like, are these aliens that are popping up throughout periods of time that are disguising themselves. They're literally masking themselves as these different forms of cultural entities so that they can impose whatever sort of experiments or type of tracking and stuff that they want on top of
Mm-hmm.
folks, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
folks over periods of time. And like that association with those weird lights moving in very, I would say, planned, geometric, kind of mechanical like movements over a lake. Like there's such a long history to something like that, and it's just
Mm.
fascinating to me.
Huh.
I don't know.
Like they're the same entities just throughout time. Oh, whoa.
And there's a ton of, I mean, I couldn't name them off the top of my head, but there's a ton of one-off UFO reports that I've come across of folks that are out in a canoe fishing, you
Mhm.
know, like the
Yeah.
same situation. They're
Yeah.
just like you said, like you've come across those too, where it's just like, and they're just rowing, and all of a sudden they got to start rowing faster because they're like, holy shit, there's lights coming after us, and this is 1807. This isn't a
Yeah.
thing right now. These aren't drones, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And
you
that
know,
was
there's a
passport.
long-standing history.
Sorry, Heidi pitched in passport to Magonia, from folklore to flying
you.
saucers. Yeah.
Thank you, Heidi.
Damien, you're back.
Damien.
I hope.
Ah, we can see you. Damien, can we
Hey.
see that crisp shirt? Can we see that crisp shirt, Damien?
Hello?
Oh no.
Oh no.
This is how y'all know that we're live. Well, see that crisp beard.
Yeah. Half a face, crisp
Can you hear
beard.
us?
All right.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, much better.
I don't know what's
That goes
happening.
where this works.
All right.
Oh, you got this,
Everybody,
brother.
everybody's sideways now.
All
For
right.
the
Well,
love of God, somebody get better Wi-Fi out to Dickinson, Tennessee. All right, they are struggling out there.
hey,
How
while
about
we're
some
on a
Ethernet
while
out
we're on
to
a
Tennessee?
brief here interlude here, let me just throw out to everybody listening, later in the show we will be accepting your calls live. We're doing something a little different tonight. We have a phone number for y'all. There is also still a direct link which you can find in the top of both of the YouTube streams, but if you want to call old school, it is 208-717-1611. 208-717-1611. So you can call in live, tell us your awesome stories, because that was such a cool part of last episode. I just thoroughly enjoyed that. It was so much fun. Yeah, like the good old days. Oh, boy, you looking crisp there, Damien.
There
I
he
have never
is.
seen him this crisp in my life. Damien, you got the
Can-
magic, my man.
Now.
Oh, we collectively jinxed it. Damn it.
All right.
Well,
D,
I
can
don't
you-
know.
yeah, and also to kind of like add on to what Kristen just said, you know, if you know anybody with a good story or anybody that's been trying to share a good story or anything like that, please, you know, copy and paste, share the link, try to get it out there. A part of the reason why we kind of start off the show slow here is to kind of build things up, to get the conversation going, and to, you know, basically warm everybody up, you know, like for the calls. So this isn't going to be us just chit-chatting all night long. We will be taking calls soon. And yeah, if you know anybody with a good story, it always feels good to get that kind of stuff off your chest. You know,
Yeah.
send them the link, encourage them, push them along. We believe in peer pressure here. We believe that it exists, and we are asking you to actively engage in it. That's I want to clarify.
Absolutely. We're all friends here, and we support you, and you're not alone, guys. All right. Well, with that, Damien, you want to give it a whirl?
I can try.
There we go.
I'm afraid to move, so I'll go with a short one first in case I get cut off again. So, years ago, I lived in this house, and a lot of weird shit happened in this house to begin with. And so, through the course of this show, over numerous episodes, I'll probably tell several stories from this house in particular. But this one night, I was coming home, pulled in the driveway, and the way I would always pull in, I'd pull straight in, and to the right would be the house. And pulled in, turned the car off, turned the lights off. It's probably 10 o'clock at night. And I look over, and I see like this glowing orange light. And my first initial thought was, okay, somebody's outside smoking, because that's what it reminded me of, was somebody took a puff off a cigarette and it lit up really bright. So I was like, oh, somebody's outside smoking. And It lit up, disappeared, and by the time I walked over to where I seen it, there was nobody there. I'm like, well, they had to have, ran inside before I got over here or some shit. I go inside, and who I thought it was, they weren't even home. Doors were locked, everybody's in bed. And so the next morning, I ask everybody, I'm like, hey, last night at so and so time, were you outside smoking? And they're like, no, we never went outside. And that's exactly what it fucking looked like. Was like somebody was outside, lit a cigarette, took a big hit off of it, and lit up that orange glow, and then it just disappeared. And if it was a bug, I've never seen an orange glowing bug before. So, and like I said, a lot of weird shit happened at this house, and that's just one of the many things that happened there in the few years we lived there. And it was really weird, and I still can't figure out to this day what it possibly could have been. It was just really, really strange.
Huh. It was like small, like it could have been like if there was a bug that could light up bright orange like that looked like, was it small like that?
It was small, like it was small to the point where I thought somebody was outside smoking.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't
And like
know.
I said, it lit up real bright one time, and that was it.
Huh. The only thing I can think of is like fireflies, but those are like white, right?
Like a whitish, greenish type color. I've never seen an orange one,
Huh.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's my short one. Am I still going good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
You sound
Okay, cool.
fantastic.
I'll go to my next one. And this one just happened a couple of months ago, and I called Gil when I got home because I didn't know what the fuck it was.
You called me while you were driving home.
Oh yeah, like yeah.
It was
And
like while it was happening. I was like, what the fuck?
so it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I'm on my way home from work, and on my way home, I got to go through pretty much nothing but woods on my way home from work, and I come to a clearing in the sky, and it's like super clear night. There's like not a cloud in the sky. You see all the stars. You can see the moon. Super clear night. And I'm gazing off to the right, and I see what I initially thought was a plane because it had the flashing red light and all this other stuff, but it was moving so fucking fast. Like I've never seen a plane move this fast. And then of course I thought, okay, maybe it's a jet, something, but still way faster than I've ever seen anything move in the sky. And I'll watch it for a good 10 or 15 seconds until I hit some trees. The trees block my view, and my view's blocked for maybe 30 seconds. See the sky again. There's no sight of this light. Like, even if it was a plane or a jet, I would still be able to at least see a little bit of it in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see anything. And like I'm looking around, like I'm pretty sure I stopped in the middle of the road just to make sure I'm like looking around to make sure that I didn't lose sight of this thing. And no clue where it went. Haven't seen it again. Haven't seen it before that. And I called Gil as soon as I got service on my phone. I was like, dude, what the fuck was this? I was like, what did I just see? And he's like, I'm pretty sure you just saw a UFO, dude.
No,
Wow.
hold on. I didn't jump to UFO. I was like, well, was it a string of lights? Was it a satellite? What angle was it coming at from? I was way more nerdy with my questions. Hold on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Well, we came to that conclusion, but we couldn't figure out what it was.
Well, there are some very Betty and Barney Hill-esque aspects to your story, and it didn't even occur to me until the middle of your story as you're talking about, I went behind the trees and then it was just gone. Like, and I'm standing there looking at, you're looking at blank sky, and it's just like, oh, okay, yeah. What if you were abducted, dude? And you just came to, and they had left.
Our next episode will be a hypnosis session.
Yes.
That never occurred to me. Well, what seemed like 30 seconds may have been hours.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Them aliens. They got the
Call
good
logs.
juice.
It may have been
We
hours.
can look up the call logs. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
we could.
Let's see.
All right. I
So
think
on my
I'll wait.
end,
Yeah, we'll go to Gil next. I'll save my other one for later.
All right.
Oh, damn.
Guilt?
Okay, I didn't know you had 3 in the barrel.
Hmm.
I didn't know. My bad. My bad. Trying to keep it, the syncopation. Yeah. So this would have been 2013. Um, through a long chain of events, I was in West Texas and I was in the car. I was in the back passenger seat with 4 folks total, kind of myself. We were driving through West Texas Road, and we were on a very long drive to Houston. Like we had to make it to Houston by that morning. Or sorry, this would have been East Texas. Totally take that all back. East Texas, the piney side of Texas, right? Somewhat hilly. And we were somewhere outside of Nacogdoches,
I
trying
just
to make
want
it
to
to
interrupt
Houston
for
by
a
the morning.
second because my sister's blowing my phone up to make sure I shout her and her husband out. So, hello, Brittany and Corey. Thank you guys for watching. Gil, continue. I'm sorry, sir.
Brittany and Corey. Oh, good. All
And
good.
I think my mom is
Um,
watching too. So, Mom, thank you for watching. I think my niece is in the next room watching. I'm just now getting all these shouts out because I've now actually got fucking decent service. A
no
couple of my
wonder your
coworkers are
shit's
watching.
lagging. The entire house is filled with people watching the show. Damien.
So, thank everybody on my end that is watching. Thank you all. Thank you all for watching. All right, continue, Gil.
Thank y'all. Thank you. Yeah, so we were driving. It was in the kind of like hill country in Texas. Driving down to Houston, it would have been around somewhere between 1:30 and 2:30 in the morning. And we're kind of going up and down through hills and these long country roads. You're talking like miles and miles and miles between one little light off in the distance that would be a little speck of somebody's like spotlight or whatever, like their motion light outside of like their pole barn. Like that's all you got. You're just driving out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And we see this incredibly bright, like orangish, fiery reddish, like light that's kind of like low off in the horizon. And it's a little bit foggy. And so we're driving. And again, this is long ass, country drives at night. There ain't shit else to do, to stare at or anything else. You're just kind of like listening to some random, preacher on there. It's like, and the fires of hell will burn you. It's like that's all there is on the radio, and everybody's just kind of quiet in the car, like, God damn, this drive sucks. And we're just staring at this light. This goes on for miles. We're just slowly approaching this light until we get probably, I don't know, maybe 1.5 miles, 2 miles away. And in that point, we're starting to pull up into, little like one stoplight kind of like town, right? And there's a gas station there. Obviously, it's closed and everything like that. But it's enough that we're like, that shit's like really intense. Like the closer we're getting, the more that we're realizing that this light is like the size of an entire water tower that's just like burning. And we're like, what the fuck? Because like half an hour, I don't know how long it was, but it was a long ass time. We were all just like in the car, just like, okay, what? Like, this isn't an antenna. This isn't a this. Like, what are we staring at? UFOs were the farthest thing from our mind at that point. We pull off into this little like local gas station, and then a local pulls in behind us, who lives 1.5 miles, 2 miles, however far from where this light's at. And he's like, y'all looking at the light? We're like, yeah. And he's like, I don't know what the hell that is.
Oh,
And we're like,
Wow.
well, we're fucked. Like, we don't know what it is. So we all just sit there staring at it. We have a local there, middle of the night. We get in the car, we start driving. We're getting closer and closer, and it like turns off. And as it turns off, when we're at that closer distance to it, we realize maybe 100 yards to the right of it is the water tower with the red light on it. This wasn't a fucking water tower the whole time we were
Wow.
staring at it. I still to this day have no
oh.
clue what it is. I've come across tons of cases of UFOs with a very similar situation, especially UFOs surrounded by fog. and that very particular reddish, yellowish, kind of like fiery kind of color, and something of the exact same size as a water tower. Also, a weird attraction that I've noticed over time to UFOs and water towers. Still haven't figured that one out, but it does come up a lot. There's a lot of stories out there of UFOs just hanging out near water towers. I don't know if they're trying to like date or something, or like what's going on, but like it is a very common occurrence. Maybe they're just like, oh shit, girl, you thick. But like I have no idea. I'm just saying it's a very common narrative. But yeah, that was one, I gotta be honest, until I kind of got older and I started to like, look back on life and like kind of like think through things, I realized like I had buried that in my mind. Like I had completely buried that night, that experience, the thoughts of all that. I had since, after remembering it, reached out to other folks who were in that car that night, and they all had the same reaction. They were like, holy fuck, I forgot that happened. Like everybody was just like, we all saw it. It was a weird event, but we had other shit that was going on at the time. And, we made it to Houston and life went on, and it's been, 12 years since then. We haven't thought about it, but I had completely forgotten about this event, and I can almost guarantee you there's a lot of folks out there that are in the exact same boat, where like you've had these experiences, you've seen lights, they've been something that was weird and like at the time very significant, and they just get forgotten. And it's really weird. I will say, like, how our minds just totally blank on these moments in our life, but when the memories do come back, they are so goddamn vivid.
Right.
It is just like right there. But that's the only other UFO story that I want to share tonight from my mouth. I mean, I'll talk about another one, but there is a third one that I've experienced from last summer, with Risk It for the Biscuit and probably the world's most famous truck driver from Northwest Ohio. Definitely the safest. But they were there over the summer when we were at Brown Mountain. We were camping there, and I'll let them tell that story. This is my nudge to try to get them to call in.
They're gonna call in.
All of my sightings have had other people in it. I don't want to be the only one talking tonight, But
well, on that
I'm just saying.
note, should we think about opening up the lines here and start to accept some calls? Because I've got another listener story, but that can go. We'll pop it in between a call or two, and so let's do it. Lines are open, guys. 208-717-1611, or follow the link at the top of the notes on the YouTube channel you're tuning in. Call us with your strange lights and encounter stories.
This is our top-notch security feature.
It is.
Privacy.
The extra blur.
Yeah.
Why is 1, 2, 3 blurred out? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0 there.
Joey, don't ask questions.
Love it. Those are the good numbers, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that?
You're ready to take your calls whenever.
Yes. All right. Well, while we wait for the first brave soul, I do have another listener story I can read. Oh, yes.
Oh.
There it is.
Yeah, we
Beat
got
me
one.
to it.
All right, our first victim. Hello, you are on the air. Can we get your first name or nickname and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Wayne. I'm calling from Seattle.
Hi, Wayne. Hey,
Hello.
thanks for calling in.
Hello. Oop, I got three voices hit me at the same time. Okay. And I've got a delay happening because I'm watching you on YouTube. So
Wayne, I'm going to have to ask you.
I'm going to turn away. I'm going to turn away from the screen.
I'm going to have to emphatically demand that you mute thy radio. All right.
It is. I have walked away from it actually.
Beautiful.
So, UFO stories. I've got three real quick ones. I've got three encounters, and one of them I've got a video. I took a video that I actually sent to Kristen a while ago. First one, I was in, I don't know, 4th grade. I was out kicking the soccer ball with a friend of mine. You know, we were having a contest to see who could juggle the soccer ball the longest. And while he was going, it's nighttime in the summer in Federal Way. I look up totally clear night, and basically what looked like a silver pinwheel was just kind of spinning slowly across the sky. And you know, I'm flipping out. I'm telling my friend, I'm like, hey, dude, look, and he was on this record soccer ball juggling moment, you know, so he wasn't paying attention to what I was flipping out about. So this thing traversed across the sky pretty much, and I'm the only one that saw it, although there were two of us out there.
Huh.
Okay, next story. Fast forward to like 1986.
When was the
We
first
were-
story, roughly?
It was me and the first one was roughly maybe 1979, 1980, somewhere around there.
Where was it? Can you give me a rough location about where that was at?
This was in Federal Way,
Federal
kind
Way,
of, you know,
Washington.
right
okay, sorry.
by
I'm
like
just-
Thomas Jefferson High School. I lived right behind Thomas Jefferson High School.
Okay. Sorry, I'm making mental notes here. That's all. But I appreciate it. What was the
Okay.
second story? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The second one was kind of out near Graham, and it was me and three other friends just kind of sitting in it was in a cul-de-sac of a housing development that wasn't built yet. Just the cul-de-sac was there, and we were about to start smoking some weed, but we hadn't started yet. We were just kind of sitting in the car talking, and I had the window rolled down. This was during the summer, so, you know, we're just kind of sitting in the car listening to the radio. And I roll the window down and I lean my head back and I'm looking up, and there's just this outline of trees in kind of a semicircle because of the cul-de-sac shape. And from just over the tops of the trees, in kind of a curving pattern, it came out into the open and then went back into, you know, out of my line of sight, basically. But what it looked like was a kind of a parallelogram shape, you know, four-sided parallelogram, not quite a triangular shape, obviously, and there were kind of neon blue lines on the bottom of it. And basically it was dead silent, and I saw it maybe for about a good count of 4 to 5 seconds before it disappeared into the tree line again. Nobody else saw it, and I'm trying to tell them all, dudes, did anybody see that? I'm trying to explain what it was. Oh, you're high, man. Like, no, we're not. We hadn't started yet. And even if I was high, I mean, there was something that flew over us, dead silent, you know, maybe 30 feet above our heads.
Yeah.
And it was
And
about, I don't know, it was
gotta
about
jump
the
in there
size of
too to
it was
back
about
you
the
up.
size of a car.
I gotta
Okay.
jump in there too to back you up on that, just in the sense that, like, I've done a shit ton of drugs, and the hallucinations very
yeah.
obvious. Like I love when people are like, "Were you drinking that night?" I'm like, "What the hell have you been drinking that you're actually seeing physical objects in the sky?" Like, I don't care how smashed I've been in my life. That's
Exactly.
never happened, and I've drank a lot of absinthe. Like, that just doesn't take place.
Yeah.
So, like, smoking some weed, especially like you said, this
yeah.
was back
You know,
in 1970. That's 1/100th what we've got now in terms of potency. You still don't get those kinds of visuals.
Oh yeah, I've never hallucinated on weed. So at any rate, so the third one, and I've got a video on YouTube for this. I sent Kristen a link to it a while ago, but I was up at Tolmy Peak hiking. Excuse me. I was up at Tolmy Peak, and as you know, I'd get to the top, you know, eat my lunch, whatever, and I started heading back down, and there were some other people looking at it as well. But just kind of on one of the ridge lines, I don't know, maybe 200 yards away, there was this really bright, intense light. If you hold out your arm, and you had, like, say 3 golf balls in your hand, and were twirling the golf balls in your hand, that's what the movement of it looked like.
Holy
but they were so, I pulled my phone out and started taking video of it. And it just, you can kind of see a little bit of motion in the light. It was too bright for the phone to deal with it. One of the early iPhones with a crappy camera on it or whatever. But it just kind of hovered there for a while. It wasn't moving except for the twirling motion. And 3 other people saw it. And after I got done filming it, I moved to a different spot where I could still see it and was going to try to take a video of it from there, but my phone was dead. So I couldn't get a second angle at it. So
Yeah.
anyhow,
I watched that. I watched
those
that
are the
video,
3
Wayne.
that I saw.
Yeah, you can see something taking place in the video. I'll be sure to. You'll have to remind me on the back end here to share that link. I'll share the link in the play after this so that people can check that out. Okay, Wayne?
Oh yeah, by all means. But yeah, that was really odd because I showed the video to some people and they're like, oh, it just looks like something reflecting off of the ground, and it's just like, well, sure it could, but there's nothing over in that direction that would reflect a light like that. First of all, and then second of all, yeah, I saw it from 2 different angles. I personally saw it from 2 different angles, so it wasn't. It was just. It was something just kind of hanging there, checking us out.
With the way iPhones are, it's very, very hard to get with what the eyes see. It's like if you take a picture of the moon, you're just like, oh, the moon looks really beautiful tonight, and then you take a picture of it and you're like, the moon doesn't look like that. So it's hard when you're showing somebody video of it, to be like, it's there, like I swear it's there, I know it's there, I saw it. So people be like, it's it doesn't look like the way you saw it, which is like that is frustrating to me when I've tried to do that too. So
yeah, I mean, it's just I'm up there and I'm thinking, why didn't I bring my high def camera with me, blah blah blah, because I'm I'm backpacking up a mountainside, I'm not lugging all that gear with me. So anyways, that's all I've got. But I like your show. This is a cool format that you got going. I listened last week, and as soon as I saw the UFOs thing, it was like, oh, I got to call you in. I got to call in. So.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Wayne. And thank you for jumping on first, man. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah. I'll be listening. I'm going to go have some dinner now. Cheers. Have a good night.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, Wayne.
Have a great night.
Oh, man. Well, at least he pulled out his phone. A lot of people don't capture it.
They don't think about that.
Another one.
Me.
Hello, you are live. Can we get your first name and
Hello,
where you're calling from?
Jay.
Hello.
Jay,
Hello.
good work on your show, everybody. Yeah.
Hello. I'm gonna let you
Can we
go
get you
for
to
another
lower
call,
the
alright?
Can we get you to lower the audio in the background? Is that doable? We're hearing echoes.
Okay, I can try to do that because I'm watching it. Let me see if I can.
Is that doable? We're hearing echoes.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
we're
let you go,
lowering
Will.
it. No, it's me, your mom. Don't let me go.
I
Okay, I
know.
lowered the audio. Yeah, anyhow, I wanted to talk about McCord Road.
Okay.
It was last year, probably around 3 in the afternoon, where I saw somebody that didn't have a face. It happened about a couple months apart around 3 o'clock. I was making a left and they were going straight past the high school in Holland, Ohio. I was making a left and they were going straight past the high school in Holland, Ohio. And it was weird. They had no face. I was freaked out. I always look around to see what cars are around me. And that's when I saw it. And I looked away real quick. I always look around to see what cars are around me. And that's when I saw it. And I looked away real quick. I was scared. I didn't know what they were going to do. And that's when I saw it. And I looked away real quick. They had no face. I didn't know what they were going to do.
That reminds me a lot of what happened with Tim in a similar area. handful of years before that exact experience, and it would have also been, and that wouldn't have been McCord Road, but that would have been within 2 or 3 miles of McCord.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Well, thank you for calling in, Mom.
Okay. Thank you.
All
I'll
right.
talk to you later, you guys.
Love you.
Good luck on all of it, you guys. Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank
Bye bye.
Bye, girls,
Thanks,
Mom.
I'll
Mom.
talk to you later, you guys. Good luck.
All right, just real quick, a reminder to anybody who wants to call
Family
in. That was
support.
so sweet. Extinguish your radios entirely. We'll remind you though.
Yes.
Not with fire though. With just you can just turn them down.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you
Y'all
don't have
just
to.
watched my face go up like 6 shades of red over.
Aw.
Oh, that was so
Wasn't alcohol.
cute.
That was cute.
Your mom's precious, Gil.
Yes, she is.
All right.
Yes, she is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I
Taught me
think that
everything
the
I know.
line is clear. Anybody else wants to
Yes.
attempt? Call. It is 208-717-1611.
We got one.
God, I'm good.
See if-
Right on cue.
Hello?
Oh,
You are alive. Hey, you are alive. Just checking to see if you were my mom. Can we get your
Let me
first
lower
name and
my,
where you're calling from, please?
I go by Dragon Paw. I was invited
Dragon
by
Paw.
Neil,
Hey, thank you for calling
and
in.
I'm from,
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I'm glad I made it in.
Yeah, thank you.
Central Cali, like an hour from LA, and I've seen some stuff.
Yeah.
Where do you guys want to start?
wherever you want to start.
Hey, man. Exactly. Yeah, wherever
go
you
wherever your
wherever you
mind
want
is.
Okay. Well, ever since I started meditating, I kind of activated something. And let's see, the first time I witnessed something, I was driving to Universal Studios, and I witnessed a craft just flying horizontally in front of the windshield. And I was like, "What is that?" And my sister was like, "I don't know. I'm driving, right?" And so I'm staring at it, and as I blink, it's gone. It looked almost like a Tic Tac, almost like the one. Yeah, I have a couple videos on my YouTube. If you guys want to check them out, it looked like a Tic Tac white with like a black front end. I guess I don't know which front or back. I don't know how they drive, but it disappeared.
What,
and then
what
later
time of
that
day
same
was
night,
this at?
this was like midday. So if we leave early, it's probably before noon, like 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you said that it passed in front of the in front of the car, correct? Was it would you say it's a football field away, 2 football fields away, about to, clean your windshield for you? Like, how close was it?
Yeah, about 2 football fields.
2 feet?
It was a good
Did I hear that
distance.
right?
Just two
Football
two
fields.
football fields.
Yeah, about
2
two.
football fields. Okay, I thought you said 2 feet. I was like, God damn. Holy.
Screw
No,
cleaning his
if it was
windows.
one,
Gotta
I
get in the
would've
car
given
with
you-
him.
Like,
I would have tipped him if he was that close.
yeah. It's like, how are you still able to have a phone call right now? Damn, man.
Right.
Okay, so 2 football fields away. You said your sister was driving and that she wasn't able. She basically gave you the age old, response of "I'm driving, I didn't see it." Like kind of a response, right?
As most people do, yeah.
Yeah. So if I can throw you back here, you said something that actually it tipped off my my UAP Spidey senses here. You said that since you had gotten into meditation, what kind of meditation are we talking about?
I mean, at first I wasn't even sure how to meditate, right? So I just started sitting down. Like now it was, so you don't really know when you're starting. You read books and there's so many different tactics. I would just sit there, but when I started doing it outside, I started seeing the things as I would open my eyes, and they look like stars just moving, just like speeding faster than an airplane.
Right.
Was this
But
intentionally
it's the
CE5 meditation, or was this like, say, like based off of like Buddha Dharma like practices, like were you like counting to 10
so
and
I would
learning to
say
work
more
with the fact
Buddha
that you
Dharma.
counted over 10?
So I started doing the meditation before CE5, but I have used CE5.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like you didn't need to learn CE5.
I'm
picking up on here.
Yeah. No, so I'm actually like spiritually awakening, I guess you could say.
Okay.
As they say.
Well, I didn't mean to cut
in
off all the stories or anything, but that was a key element to something that you said. I didn't want to just keep going through stories without acknowledging that, because if you were engaging in specifically,
I have another.
For any listeners out
I
there,
have another
CE5
one.
specifically is human initiated contact with
Yeah.
extraterrestrials, or like the imagination and the ideas can kind of go on from there, whether they're interdimensional or they're time travelers, what have you. The point is what we would generally refer to as ET, UFO, so on and so forth. CE5, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, is like us calling in, kind of like listeners are calling in right now to us, right? But that is other folks calling in, and there is a meditation practice made famous by Greer. I can't remember his first name.
Stephen Greer.
Stephen Greer, yes. Who I'm not a personal fan of, but that's another case. But Stephen Greer, who kind of like pioneered, I'll say, the popularity of CE5. He did not invent it, but he did pioneer the modern popularity of human-initiated contact with extraterrestrials or interdimensional beings, yada, yada, y'all know what I mean. So when he said he was getting into meditation and started seeing craft on a more regular basis, like every bell in my brain was just going off like, what kind of meditation were you doing? That is a very specific formula, but yeah. That's all I got.
So I'm glad that we went to that, because my next story has to do with that one.
Okay.
There we go.
So the next thing that happened to me, I was outside in the middle of the night. I think it was June 16th, 2023. I did a little CE5. What is it? Yeah.
CE5, yeah.
And so right behind me is the Pacific Ocean. And I'm looking straight up in the sky. No stars are moving. I'm getting kind of bored, actually. I'm like, okay, no one's here. It's like a Ouija board almost. And then so out of nowhere, a giant Dorito-shaped craft creeps over me ever so slowly from behind me. And then before I could even think anything, it shuts its lights off while it's right above me. And that's when I kind of noped it back. I noped it back into my room.
What day did this happen?
June 16th, 2023. I have a lot of my things dated here.
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
Yeah, can I so sorry, can I interject a thought here? So these two experiences so far, the craft that you're witnessing, the things that you're witnessing, they seem awful close. I mean, these are really extraordinary sightings, experiences.
Yeah.
But the closeness factor of them really, it kind of begs a question inside of my head. And there were a couple of people in my chat kind of talking about ET, aliens for lack of a better word. We don't know if that's connected, but if they're here, if they've always been here, and it kind of makes me start to wonder, like, are they there right now? And most people can't see them. Does it take an opening of your mind, of your eye, through a practice like the meditation to actually see what's already there?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think as soon as we're born, we're trained to cut it off, right? They're like, no, nothing like that exists. The same with every paranormal, everything cryptid. So they're just stories. So in a way, that closes you off.
Yeah.
It's like a planned thing, the way I see it. But when you start to think for yourself and you start to open it up, things happen, I guess.
Wow. That's incredible.
That was a good question.
I got to start meditating, you guys. I think I'm the only one in this whole group that has never seen anything. I want to see a UFO.
Yeah.
When you do meditate, you want to make sure to take necessary precautions, because just like in the paranormal world or whatever you want to call it, you don't want to invite the wrong things, but you never really know. And that's why I noped it out of there when it was hovering above me.
Nope,
Yep.
right out.
Yep, nope, gone. I did like your description though.
Like, that's not cool, right?
Calling it the triangle of a Dorito. Like, I love that description, because like that actually, instead of like a triangle, because you can picture like a triangle, but also like a pyramid in a way. The way that you described it as like a Dorito like shape actually made me understand how it's shaped more than if you were just like, it's just like a triangle. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. It was so weird. And I'm used to seeing little lights flicker, but the nighttime ones are a little sketchy because you can never tell,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the
it could be a
daytime
star.
ones, if you guys check out, yeah. Oh, have you guys heard of Starlink?
Mm-hmm.
That like
Yes.
satellite thing? Okay, so I've seen the thing that I saw. Go ahead.
Fucking knew it. Sorry if I've been distracted, y'all. And I'm sorry, Paul, if I've been distracted. There are
Paul.
two individuals that I'm trying to encourage to call in who were involved in one of my sightings.
Oh.
And that sighting happened on June 16th of 2023. And it was a triangle-shaped craft. And that has been, I've been searching through comments and I've been searching through messages. I was like, when the fuck did this happen? When the fuck did this happen? And I just found the email from another person who was there that night, who was engaging in CE5 contact, trying to initiate contact on that night. This has been fucking with me. I literally just went through my emails to try to find it. So you know who you are,
bro.
We were on Brown Mountain. Sorry, I'm so sorry, but that, yeah. Anyways,
Oh, dude,
no,
sorry
it
to
makes
jump in with that. That just hit way the fuck too close to home.
Yeah,
they're bigger than we think, like, and they just come out of the ocean like nothing. They live there, bro. Crazy.
We didn't see it out of the ocean. We saw it over the mountains. I swear to God, the next call better be from the folks I'm trying to encourage to call me. Because like I don't want to be the only one talking about these experiences. There was so many of us, but please continue. Like, I'm just saying, if you need to know, I'm a believer on this side of the mic. All right, like, because you just hit way the fuck too close to home, my man.
I'm a knower because you should see those other videos that I've already recorded.
Wow.
Can you guys? Are you guys able to? The ones I've sent you.
I don't know if I got videos from you yet, but if you want to send them really quick to theblackcatreport@gmail.com, I can get them downloaded and I can get them pulled up here in 3 minutes.
It's
All
a
right.
giant
Sorry,
freaking
y'all,
craft
this is-
just hovering there.
No, it's
All right,
crazy.
you guys
Yeah.
need to go on to the next guy.
Do we have another one lined up,
we
Gil?
one more.
I hear
we
what.
do have another call coming in. Paul, thank you for calling in.
Go
All
ahead.
right,
Thank you.
and please stick around.
you, guys.
Please stick around for this other call,
Yeah,
which
thank you,
happened literally
Dragonfly.
on the same goddamn night.
Thank you.
I'm fucking
Thank you.
freaking
Thank you.
out.
Y'all
Thank
have a
you.
good night.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. That's nuts, dude.
That's crazy.
That was, I don't know if you saw how distracted I was during that call, but I was like going through, I was like, wait, I messaged this person around that time, this person around, and then I remembered another famous podcaster, Dan Zetterstrom. He was on Brown Mountain that night. He was doing CE5 with, I can only remember their Instagram handle. I don't want to shout them out on this, but now future wife, I think they're engaged now. Anyways, he was on the mountain. I only recognized him because like he has a very distinct UK accent. It was pitch fucking black by the time we were all talking to each other. There was a whole crowd of us up on the mountain that had kind of grouped together on Brown Mountain looking for the Brown Mountain lights. And the only reason why I recognized him was because it was pitch black and I've fallen asleep so many nights listening to his podcast. I was like, I know this voice. What the fuck? And it's like, why is this British dude on the side of a mountain in North Carolina? But him and his partner and their very adorable pit bull were down on the side of a mountain and they were doing CE5 meditation. And I specifically remember my sister making a very funny jab about it. She's like, because they were using finger symbols, right? So it was like ting, ting, and it was a whole meditation practice.
Yeah.
My sister was like, where did the ting ting people go? Like it was fucking hilarious. I was like, Rachel, they're trying to do this. All right, let's see if this ends. And if it's not, totally fine. We're excited about your call, but I'm sorry, I got personal stakes on this, right?
We are excited to hear it.
Hello.
Hello, you are live. Can we get your first name and where you're calling from?
I am Risk It for the Biscuit,
Hey.
and I'm calling from Toledo, Ohio. Hello, can you guys hear me okay?
We can get.
I was just telling them
We
about
can.
the Ting Ting people.
Oh, the Ting Ting people. Yes. So we took a vacation just a little bit under a year ago, and we went to the Brown Mountain Lights, and I am the person that Gil is talking about. Well, one of the people. I'm not the famous guy, but pretty damn close. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm not that close, but nevertheless. So we were up there and we were trying to see the Brown Mountain Lights, and then all of a sudden, we're all of a sudden out of nowhere, we look up and there's just random stars in the sky, and there was literally the one guy was saying, Paul, there was a Dorito shape, but there were stars all around that. But in the middle of the Dorito, there was no stars. So it was basically a UFO, but it was a triangular shape. And this thing, if you just take your hands and put them up in the sky and you put your thumbs together and your fingertips together and you look up, all of that, while the triangular part was black, everything around it you could see the stars around it, but in the middle it was just blacked out. And then all of a sudden this thing just went forward, if that makes sense. And then it just went, like it literally went up. And there was Gil and another person and my husband Tim and I. And then that famous Gil, help me with that. The gentleman's names because I'm forgetting.
Dan.
Dan?
You got me as I was drinking
Yeah,
my beer.
he was there. He was the Ting Ting guy because they were out there. It's a long story with that whole situation. The guys down there doing Ting Tings and everything, and we were like, "Oh, he's a Ting Ting guy." But I mean, the guy summoned these aliens. Like, no joke, this guy summoned these aliens. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this thing just went like sideways and just shot up into the air, and we were like, holy crap. We literally just seen a UFO. And it wasn't the normal UFO where you think of a saucer, because everybody thinks of a UFO and it's a saucer. No, this thing was literally like a Dorito. And it was freaking nuts. This thing just went, it was on the side, went straight forward, shot up into the air, and it was gone. And we were like, holy crap. And the best part about it is Gil was like, I've got these really great laser beams excuse me. And we were shooting up in the air and just messing around, because you can use them as a pointer for long distance situations. But this thing, like, we were pointing it at the UFO or the Dorito, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know if it saw it and got flipped out, but it just like turned sideways or front forward or whatever you want to call it, went straight up into the air and it was gone. And we were just standing there like, holy crap. And the best part about it was the most elite part about it was there was these old ladies there, and this cute little old lady's like, well, that wasn't the Brown Mountain Lights. I've seen them before. That's not what that was. I've seen it before. That's not what that was. That was a UFO. These ladies were so cute, and it was like the best thing ever, just because of the fact that like these ladies. And then there was other people there. There was a lady with her kids. She brought them up there to just, experience the outdoor nature situation and maybe possibly see the Brown Mountain Lights. But there was the old ladies, the lady with her kids, there was us, and then the Ting Ting people, and everybody came together, literally saw all of this. And these ladies afterwards, like all these ladies were like, well, you know what? We should get together afterwards and we should meet here a year from now. And Gil was like, that's the best idea ever. And literally Gil became friends with, I think actually he had been already following the Ting Ting guy, and now it's his wife. But like, the older ladies and us and everybody it just united everybody. It was great. And it was all because of a Dorito in the sky.
What an incredible shared experience. Like, there were so many people who saw this thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Everybody describes it as a Dorito.
No, but like,
yeah, because
thank you.
The thing is oh, go ahead, Jay.
Sisters first. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Ain't gonna
Well, everybody thinks when you think of a UFO, you think of a round saucer type of thing.
Right.
But this wasn't. I mean, when I was looking up into the sky, I was thinking of, we were looking for the Brown Mountain Lights, but then we saw this Dorito type thing, and it was weird. Like I said, it was the whole star, like the whole sky was full of stars, and then you have this middle section that was a triangle that was completely black.
Mhm.
And you think of a UFO and you think of something that's just going to be a saucer, and it was not a saucer. It was a triangle. It's
Yeah.
weird because I mean, you watch X-Files, you watch The Outer Limits, you watch, like anything, or you hear like podcasts like Art Bell or Coast to Coast, anything like that. It's round. And this situation was not looking for a triangle. It was a round, it wasn't a round object. It was a triangle. So
Mhm.
that right there was just, something that was off the scale of something that you're gonna normally look for.
Yeah,
But
that really
it was
Mhm.
awesome. It was
that really speaks to also, like, when people submit or report these encounters, the things that they are seeing up in the sky. We kind of grow up with this idea of what we're supposed to be seeing, what we should expect to see. So when somebody comes forward and is like, no, I saw a Dorito UFO, and that does not fall in the template, sir.
Right.
So like that
exactly.
says something to me. That says something that's legitimacy to the experience too. But yeah, what an amazing story. Thank you, Riskit.
Yeah, great story.
Thank you, Gil sister.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Oh,
Gil.
thank you.
Thank you,
Oh.
Gil sister.
Thanks,
Have a
Biscuit.
good night, sis.
Thank you all. Thank you all for letting me like call in, and I'm super honored to be able to speak, because most people are like, no. You talk about UFOs, it's round, or it's not even existent. It's like,
Right.
oh no, I know what I saw,
Yeah.
and Tim knows what he saw, and Gil knew what he saw, and it's nuts, dude, completely crazy. And I hope to see it again one day, and I hope they're friendly, and I hope that it's not the stereotypical crap that they have on the movies. But nevertheless, I really appreciate you guys. I love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, and man, keep rocking it, man. You guys are awesome.
We appreciate
All
it.
right, thank you, sis. We're gonna take
Thank
another
you.
call here. Love you.
Night, Gil sister.
All right. Night.
All right.
Bye.
Hello, you are live. Can we get
Hello.
your first name and where you were calling
Hello,
from?
how are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Hello.
Hello. This is
Hello.
Dwayne.
Yeah.
I hear the timbre of your voice. Hey.
Can you hear me?
We
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Copy.
There is a slight delay, but it's totally okay. We'll work through it.
Story of my life.
What
Ditto.
you got
You're in
for
good
us
company
tonight?
here. You're in mutual company.
Oh, I was just calling in to say it, man. I love the beards, haircut, and beauty we got going on here, man. You guys are awesome.
Can you get a little bit closer to the phone for us, please? And please make sure
A
that
little better.
if you are watching us, which we appreciate the numbers, if you are watching
Mhm.
us, can you make sure that we are muted?
Well, I
Mute
can't hear you.
YouTube. Beautiful. Now we can hear you.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Got a strange,
Well, how are y'all
strange lighter,
doing
and we're good. We're good. We're. I'm having a great time tonight. This is such a wonderful subject, and I just wish I had seen a
Mhm.
UFO so I could tell my own story.
Yeah. Your time will come.
Kristen.
Hey.
Twins.
Go ahead,
Hi.
Dwayne.
Oh, okay. Hey.
Hey.
All right. Kristen, did you get that creepy ass doll?
I did. I'm gonna move aside here real quick so my
Lucky.
viewers can see it. If you can see it in the dark.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, there's something going on with that thing.
That's lucky.
There is.
I just got that. I got that feeling.
Mhm.
I have my first haunted
Be
doll.
careful putting
I
be
have not
careful
put.
putting
Damien would
power to
know.
that thing. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Have the
I'm.
rest of you guys seen the videos I sent yet?
Yeah, we played them earlier.
We played him on the show, Dwayne.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I got hung up at the store, man. I came in a little late, guys. My bad.
Oh, you're good.
All good.
Oh, good.
It's unforgivable, but we'll forgive you.
We're just glad you're
Oh.
here.
Story of my life. Anyway, lights. I'll tell you. I hate the word story. It kind of bothers me. I prefer the word encounter. Story to me implies fake. So my bad on that.
Yeah.
Please forgive me.
Can we agree on experience?
Yeah, you'll know that works. 100%.
Mhm.
100%. There was man, this was about I don't know, man, maybe 20 years ago. I was coming home from a little event that I was attending and seeing these lights. It looked like a huge ball of fire just falling out of the sky. Like for the longest time. Like hovering there. And me and my significant other at the time, we pulled over. We went as far as to maybe try and track this thing and follow this thing. We just couldn't figure it out. And even so much as to call the local airport. I'm in Washington State, and it was Sunfield was the airport. We called them up, and it's like, is there a plane crashing? Is there something on fire? Is there something going on? And they said, nope. I mean, it was just dismissed like nothing while we were watching this. And mind you, this wasn't Venus.
This is all going
This
on
wasn't
while
Mars,
you're
this wasn't
watching
a
it. You're
planet
making
thing.
calls, you're hitting up the airport, so on.
Yes, 100%. We felt, mind you, we felt weird making the call. I'm thinking this is it. To us, it looked like an airplane going down, or just in some kind of peril.
It's a long crash. That's
And
a
it just
comically
hovered
long
there,
crash.
hovered there.
Yeah.
But there was never an explosion. There was never anything like that. It just at some point it faded off while we were on the phone, with the tower at the local airport, and they're like, "No, we got nothing. There's nothing going on." And I don't know how to say it, but kind of went home feeling. Oh man, I'm not sure. I can't grab the words, but went home feeling. I don't want to say stupid, but just we know what we watched. We're sitting there watching it while we're on the phone with them. Something happened. I mean, it was a real thing. There was like two other cars that pulled up behind us, watching it also, and was also making calls. I can't confirm their information. I mean, but this really happened, and when it was done, we all hung up and put up our phones and looked at each other and went, what the hell was that? I mean, I can't explain it. It was a strange light. It looked like a ball of fire falling out of the sky. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't explain it, and I can't, I don't want to use the quote, how do you explain it? Because I called all the people that should be able to explain it, and there was no explanation for it. And it just, to this day, it is what it is, and it was what it was. I don't know. I can't explain what I've seen, but I seen what I've seen. And what's that?
What time of day did you say this happened at?
This was like right at dusk. There was still just, enough daylight for the sky to light up, but no sun rays.
So this was,
and within the next,
no.
I would.
Yeah, so this is the afternoon.
Oh no, this was in the evening.
So
yeah, right.
So is that weird like twilight hour where everything has that weird blue tone?
Yes, right at the tail end of that, and like I said, within the next 10 minutes, it was pitch black, and it was weird. I mean, the 3 other cars that were with us, probably about 8 of us all together,
Yeah.
just kind of stood there confounded, like, what the hell was that? It was weird because we were all calling. Somebody called the police.
Yeah.
I called the airport. We called everybody, and and nobody knew nothing. I don't know. I
What
can't
year was
explain
this?
it. It happened.
What year was this,
It was
Dwayne?
probably, I'm gonna say like 2002.
Okay. Yeah, that's another one of those, like, it's the frustrating thing about a lot of the, like, strange light experiences is that they're so mysterious and nobody knows nothing. Nobody has the answer. There's never anything in the news like afterwards. Yeah, that would be, I don't know. I would be frustrated to see something like that. And it's just like, it might as well just not happened if nobody knows anything or knows what it was,
Yeah, it was really frustrating. I mean, if it was just, me and my significant other at the time, no big deal. Okay, we seen something. But the fact that other cars pulled up and seen it and also were making phone calls and then just nothing. I'm waiting for something on the news. Well, I mean, we came on and, we all put on the news and was looking for something, but there was just nothing. It was really weird. It was a giant fireball just slowly coming down. I mean, I don't know what to say about it.
Dwayne,
it was quite a sight. I mean, I'm glad I seen it.
Dwayne, with all these calls and things that happen, like the way I like to think of that kind of stuff is that, the stuff that we research into now and like delve into these UFO reports, UFO experiences, we're going back 20, 30 years a lot of the time. So think of it like maybe 40 years, depending on it, is that maybe in a few years, somebody's going to be researching into this as well and is going to see all these calls happening to the same radio tower, to the same airport tower, and be like, there must have been a flap here or a UFO experience here for a lot of these people, and delve into what happened. And maybe it happened other places too. Just didn't get publicized early or hasn't been researched into yet. So
that's a good point.
Man, boy, I hope so. I mean, there has to be some kind of documentation of it because, again, there was multiple witnesses of this thing, and it was just brushed off. That was the feeling we all got. We all looked at each other and was like, well, the police don't know anything. Well, the airport don't know anything. And, and the airport was like 15 miles away from where we're at. It's Fun Field, and, I think you call it Graham, Washington. It is, and it was like, no, there's no big deal. But at the time, I mean, I'm sitting here looking at it at the same time. It's like, well, something is crashing, something's on fire, something's happening right now. Do you guys have anything? And they're like, no, we got nothing. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I mean, I hung up. I'm like, well, if you're not going to say, then I'm not going to listen. So I don't know. It happened. It's a weird thing. And what confirmed it for me was just the other cars that pulled up and stopped to get out and watch the same thing. And I mean, it either something really happened and something was going on and somebody didn't want to say anything, or we're all nuts, right? I mean, I guess that's how that goes, right?
Yeah, very, very well could be. Like, yeah, they didn't want to say anything, but that's such a dramatic kind of thing to happen. And like you said, with the multiple witnesses, like if people really did, if there really was no there with whatever this thing was, like that's a security risk in my mind. Like for no official, party to know anything about that. Yeah. So that's where my mind goes.
Right.
I mean,
Wow.
I would have wrote it off myself.
Yeah.
I would have wrote it off myself as, maybe a planet, whatever, if there wasn't other people on the phone with other agencies reporting the same thing, and everybody getting told no, and we're all, heads on a swivel looking at each other going, well, what are we looking at then? What is this?
Mhm.
That was just the weird part of it, is just so dismissive from it was like, I heard one person say, well, would you guys just go outside and look to the south? Just look and see it for yourself, because it's out there right now.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I guess that's just how some of these things go. I don't know. But with all that aside, man, you guys are awesome. Love you guys' shows. Great guest tonight. You guys are awesome, man. I don't want to burn up your time. I'm just a yahoo that with awesome, stupid haunted dolls
and great stories and
Yeah,
great
Kristen,
experiences.
good luck with that thing, man. I hope you figure that thing out.
Thank you.
Hey, I'll
Thank
keep
you.
you posted. You rock,
I hope
Dwayne.
you
Thank
figure out that
you.
doll.
Bye, man.
Thank you, Dwayne.
All right.
Thank you.
Night.
Have a good night, guys.
Night. My haunted doll has been staring at the back of my head this whole episode. I just realized.
He's contemplating.
That's
what-
pretty
Doll
scary.
that you named
contemplating.
Lucky.
Where the
I
knife
named him
goes.
Lucky.
The doll that you named Lucky because you've only
did.
had good luck since you've gotten it.
I have.
That doll.
I have. Don't tell Dwayne.
Shit. Sorry, he's listening
Yeah.
to this.
His name is Lucky
Dwayne?
until the doll tells me
Earmuffs,
otherwise.
Dwayne. You didn't hear anything.
Oh man. Well, we are creeping up on time, I think, you guys. Should we
got
wrap
time
it
for
up
another call.
here? One more call?
Oh no. I'm gonna push for another call. I'm sure there's
All
another
right.
call out there.
All right, let's do one more
have
call, you
seen-
guys. I see some people
I
hanging
hope they're
on.
still
Yeah.
available. I
I
also
do.
want to say somebody in particular. I'm gonna give a shout out to Harry Carey. All right, Harry Carey has been blowing up the BCR chat with all of the things that I want to talk about, and I know for a fact all the other hosts on this episode, on this show, right? We all want to talk about it. We all want to hear about it, and I can tell you, Harry Carey, this is the type of shit we talk about when we're off air. But in the chat, the way it's coming across is, I don't know if you all want to hear about it. Insert a million reasons why. That's how I'm taking it. All right, that's what I'm hearing on my end. And if you called in right now, this is the special line right now, just for Harry Carey. It would be so great if you called in. I'm gonna throw that out there. I
Come
think
on,
your stories would
Harry.
be perfect. We really want to hear from you. You've been just like teasing us with these incredible stories. If not, I'm gonna straight up say it. I'm gonna call it out there. Sorry, Joey. We're dedicating a show to you on BCR. Like I want to chat with you.
You don't have to apologize
Like
to me.
I'm
I would love
dead
it.
serious about this. Like if you could call in, that would be fantastic.
I am
no
already
pressure.
hooked with Harry Carey naming the mass sighting the mass Dorito sighting. So I am already on board for Harry Carey coming on the show for BCR, and
mass
hopefully you'll
Dorito
call in.
sighting of 2023.
Yes.
That was fucking fantastic.
208-717-1611. Harry, it's yours if you want it.
Yes.
We got time for another.
Harry, it's
In the
open
meantime,
to you.
can I ask a
And
question
like
if he
I said
doesn't
at the
call in?
beginning, well, I'm just saying up top, I specifically said peer pressure. This show
He did.
supports peer pressure, especially
I
while
will
we're getting
rewind
started
right
off
now.
this show. Yeah, she will do it. I've seen her do it.
A couple minutes.
But like Harry Carey, if you would call in, bless us with your presence. If not, totally fine. We ain't trying to scare you away, but we're trying to get you just to the point of being scared away. Whichever comes first. If you would call in, I'm just saying there is some juice in the chat. If you all want to go see, head on over to the BCR live chat. Scroll down through it. Sorry, Christian, for the numbers. Now, scroll down through it. Scroll down through it and look
It's
at
okay,
what
guys.
he's been saying. Like, I'm just saying, I'm sitting over here. You got me. I'm in a drought. And this is
Hey, Gil.
this is on top of, we just had like there was a impromptu mutual validation of a family sighting. that I had take place less than a year ago, right? And I'm excited about Harry Carey. That's all I'm saying. That's why I'm pushing so hard.
Well, Gil, I think he appreciates it. Just read in the chat that he is at work now on incognito mode. So we appreciate you doing
That's
this
Harry for
at work, and we're here
Harry,
for it. We're here
love
for
you,
it.
brother.
Thank
Although I will say, if you were logged into your Gmail account in incognito mode, you are not incognito.
Thank you for your
But I love
sacrifice,
ya.
Harry.
Thank you for your sacrifice, Harry.
All right. Well,
but seriously, no, totally legit. Yes, we are 100% on Reddit. Find us at Black Cat Report. Kristen, do you have a Reddit?
I do not have a
I can see it
Reddit.
in your face.
No.
You don't have a Reddit. Find us at Black Cat Report. Hit us up on Instagram, Black Cat Report, or the Black Cat Report at gmail.com. It's how many times do I have to say Black Cat Report? You got this, my man. It's in our show description. I want to talk with you. Seriously, the shit that you've been saying, ringing bells all evening. Sorry to just keep rambling, y'all. If there are any other callers this evening, I think we're about at that point, and we would absolutely love if you call in. I don't know if anybody else wants to take the reins on, like, if we have a time limit here or what we want to do. We've never had to do this before.
I think let's wrap it up in the next 10 minutes at the very latest. Just for us on the West Coast over here, we're need some dinner. But yeah, and I've got another listener story that I'm actually going to save for the Beyond the Deadline segment for next time. I think that'll be a good one for next time. But while we're waiting for a possible final caller, 208-717-1611, y'all. Speaking of next time, can we tell them what our idea for the next episode is? Is that okay if I let that out of the bag?
Yeah, it was your idea, so go for it.
I know, it's such a cool idea. I tried to tackle it at one point on my own show on the Halloween stream that I did. But we are going to be talking spooky AI and haunted electronics. Oh, the sky is the limit with that topic. So spooky AI, Alexa, in the middle of the night, suddenly coming on. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that, or whatever she says. I don't know. Yeah, spooky AI, haunted electronics. I think that'll be a really fun show. So we are going to be doing that April 6th. Same time.
I've got a couple stories.
Oh, of course you do. You're Damien. Very excited to hear them. But yeah, it's these episodes, so that you don't have to keep a date in mind. We are always going to air the first Saturday of the month. So just put that little worm in your brain. So that's all I had. Like I said, I'm going to save my listener story until next show. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to pop in here at the end?
I have my last story.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Damien, take us out. Take us out, man.
Damien.
This is how we'll end it. This is how we'll end the Strange Lights episode. So, it was a little over a year ago. I was at an investigation. For those who don't know, who may not listen during the first episode, I am a paranormal investigator. Go to several locations and investigate hauntings and ghosts and all that fun stuff. We was at a place up in Kentucky called Rose Opera House. Super old building, still in operation, really cool place. So they put on plays here. They show movies here. It's like a place they kind of do it all there. And during our walkthrough, the guy was telling us all this different stuff, telling us the history of the building, some of the hauntings, stuff like that. And this one thing really stuck with me. He was talking about in the main auditorium that a lot of people would see this floating ball of light just kind of floating down one of the aisles. And of course, I was like, oh, whatever. That's just, got to be a logical explanation for that. So we get released. We start our investigation. We're, I don't know, probably 30, 35 minutes in. And I'm standing up on the stage. My wife, Kelly's down on the floor kind of in front of me. Her sister's kind of off to the left, and we have a couple other team members kind of sitting in a couple of the seats. And I look up, and I just, out of the blue, I'm like, holy fucking shit. And her sister goes, "Did you see that too?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what did you see?" And we both seen this big, bright blue ball of light just floating down the aisle. Like literally like it was somebody just walking down the aisle. And there's no windows in this room. The only outside light source is just a tiny, tiny little bit of light peeking out from the lobby. So there's no possible way that this ball of light was coming from the lobby. And like it was big. It was had to be at least head size. Like it was a good sized ball of light. And it floated for about a good 10 seconds, probably past 3 or 4 rows, and then just disappeared. And me and my sister both saw it at the exact same time because we both reacted at the same time. And unfortunately, I didn't get it on video because I was videoing at the time, but I think when I seen it, I was pointing the camera in a different direction, but I was looking in the direction of the ball of light. So I didn't actually capture it on video, unfortunately. But that was one of the wildest things that I've seen during an actual investigation was this big ass bright blue light just floating down the aisleway like that. It was wild.
Whoa. Real quick, how fast was it floating?
Like I said, it got past probably 4 rows, so it was moving pretty fast. Like somebody was in a hurry to get to their seat.
Whoa. I think that's an awesome final story. I love that. So
That's a great
visual
story.
too.
Right,
Thank
it was
you.
wow.
Thanks, D.
Damien.
No, yeah.
Thanks for finishing up the night. my
All
man.
right. With that, let's do our final deets here and close it out. My booze. So I'll start. Everybody watching, listening, if you enjoyed this, this is a collaboration between a couple of different shows. You can follow Paranorm Girl Pod at Paranorm Girl Pod on all of the socials. Made it easy for you. Gil?
Black Cat Report. Not a lot of things named after that. And if they are, they're directly related to black cats being reported. You should be able to tell the difference. I have faith in you. Now, we're found everywhere podcasts are found, unless there's a new place podcasts are found. If that is the case, hit us up. We'll get there.
Tell him.
We'll
Damien?
be there.
Damien?
You can follow my podcast, even though it's temporarily on hiatus. Life Beyond 6 Feet. I'm on all social media, multiple streaming platforms. If you're interested in seeing some of my investigations, look up my team, RKB Paranormal, all social media, YouTube. Check out our website. We got all kinds of fun stuff with that. So
All right. You want to shout out the Beer, Booze, and Boogeymen goodness as well, since we're here?
yeah. We're on Instagram. We're approaching 500 followers on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We need a few more on Facebook. We're only at about 150, but we're getting there. And then on TikTok, we're about 130 followers away from 1,000 on TikTok, and we can go live on TikTok. So follow us on TikTok at Booze, Beers, and Boogeyman on all of it. Follow us on TikTok because we want to go live on
Beers,
TikTok.
Booze, and Boogeyman.
Yeah, just need a few more on TikTok, guys. You got it in, you listeners. Get us there, and we'll do it on TikTok. All right.
Hit that follow.
Me and my man.
Yes, please. All right, Damien. Want to take us out?
Wanna-
I will. Until next time, guys. Here's a toast to the ghost in your hall.
The Bigfoot in your yard.
The gray waiting for you to sleep.
And please listen responsibly.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers.
Y'all have a good night.